People gonna consider this. I'm gonna have to go back in and put the title back in later. But hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that my mother was good. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad she's good. Thank God for the time being. But I want to say this real quick. A lot of people gonna think I'm cruel. Um, I'm gonna say it like this here. We, as a so-called, I'm just gonna say people, just for context, because it's not. I know it's not about color. It's about what your nations or people. Of the Bible deal with nations, but the Bible do speaks of people of color, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You know, that's talking about our people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a we fit these curses. I fit. It's a possibility I do because I look at the conditions that we are currently in. I did I wake up and say, hey, you know, I want to live in the ghetto and in the hood, but I got to talk about. I ran across a video. I forgot what date it was done because I was so eager to. I wanted to say it while it was on my spirit. They had some police pull a couple over. It was a man. I'm pretty sure it was a husband, and the woman appeared to be like she was probably about 35, something like that, 30 something, somewhere in there. The police tags had expired on the car. From what I got at the video, they said the so-called white man, they told her she had to, what they told her and her husband, I'm just assuming, her fiance or whatever, that they was gonna have to and tow the car, but they were gonna have to get their license tag off of the back of the car. Okay. And unjust and cruel. So the woman goes back there and say, I want to take the license plate off myself. The so-called white man, the white police officer went to yelling at the woman, and that probably pissed the woman off. So as the woman, he was to him, and also called white people, they agreed to that bullshit anyway. So the woman was aggressive, which who wouldn't be aggressive? I would too. You see what I'm saying? Shit, the woman had every rights is to be and felt the way she did, just like the so-called. I don't talk against my people when it comes to stuff like this here. I don't. If you look at that from me to sit up here and speak on bad on my people when our people be racially profiled for nothing, oh no, you ain't gonna get me doing that. Oh hell, not me. Not going against my people. I just want to make sure I put that out there. Uh the 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 man, the so-called white man, started to want to threaten to detain the woman. And the woman, the so-called the sister was saying, "Get your hands off of me! Don't put your hands on me, or whatever." So he was going back there taking the license plate off. Cause see, our people go through so much anyway. And so she pulled out a knife from, and it showed. The video says a woman stabs cop, and that's how it's read. And I believe in the face. And the first thing going through I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm elated. It made me, it made me felt really good. I ain't gonna even lie, because they already targeting our people anyway. You see what I'm saying? They already doing it. They've been doing it for decades. So they just got to learn how to leave our people the hell alone. They always fucking with us. It's always got to be they fucking with us. Whether you be in the store, they fucking with you. Uh, You might have to take that back a little to the counter. It looks like it's been. I just want sorry to tell you, I'm just doing my job. It just look like it ain't paid for. I got into a debate with a so-called white man in Walmart probably about a couple of weeks ago. It was a sister, a black woman, so-called black woman, going out here some ground beef in a bag. And in my mind, there was a so-called white man. I said, wait a minute. I'm hoping that no, is this her husband or what? Then it came to a conclusion. I said, oh, he must be some kind of manager here. I was hoping it wouldn't have been, but kind of that's what the hell it was. It was more like he owned the store, I believe, or he runs it, or he's oversee over it. So I said, man, I may be talking to another brother that was sitting up there. He jumped into our because I said them registers, they got them registers fucked up any damn way. And then he made a statement. I forgot what it was, but he said, "Oh well, it's not that. It's just that the registers are something." He said. I said before he said anything. I said, "Yeah, them registers. They got them registers fucked up any goddamn way. You know, it ain't our problem. It's just them damn registers." So he jumped in and said, and I told him, I said, "Man, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my brother here." Then that's where it went. It escalated and got chaotic. So I ended up going in. I ended up calling. I told the white man, you the damn devil." I just went in on him. Told him, I see why you the damn devil." And I told him, I said, look, you look forward to going into slavery. You damn devil, or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what I was saying. I was, yeah. Now I think I was saying that. I call him all kind of. I say, "You devil, race." I was just calling him all kinds of stuff that I can think of in that moment. So he got mad and told me, "Well, you can get out this. You can get up out of here. Oh yes, you can leave." I said, "No, I can't. No, not me or something." Like, "Oh yes, you can too." So I end up leaving. I left the store. I left Walmart because so-called white people, they feel that they have the upperness on a so-called black person or a person of color, and they know that they have that position of power and their ancestors, they run the world. He knows this. So but the thing that I didn't say, realizing he came up there and interrupted me in the brothers conversation. That's what he did. He came up there and interrupted my conversation, and that's when I went in on him and I told him what I told him. I sure did. I sure did. I said, "I'm not talking to you." I said, man, I'm not talking to you." So he got mad, and I didn't give a damn, and I went to cussing him out. But the brother that I was talking to, he went more. I would say he went more on the so-called white man side, because at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to mess the brother up from his work. I said to him, the so-called black man, and I told him, I said, "Man, my bad. I apologize to you, but not the so-called white man. You know what I mean? Not to the so-called white man." It was almost like he wasn't going to hear that, because he was like, "Well, I can't talk to you no more," because from what he was telling me. So I'm saying, okay, at the same time, I'm like, okay, I don't want to jeopardize his job. But when it came down to like standing with me as his brother, it's almost like he's selling his soul out to the devil just to be able to keep his business to work, because he works at Walmart. You know how people work at Walmart and they have what you call that? They stand at the door and like a greeter. They look at your receipts and stuff like that. See where you good, you can go ahead. Or they take they highlight the part where the price. I guess so you won't come back in and commit fraud and scams and stuff, receipts and stuff. So anyway, that's the type of work that he does. And I cussed him out. I cussed the so-called white man out. Not my brother, but I cussed the so-called white. I said, because he jumped in our conversation, because talking to him about our people being the real Jews. We was talking about the Greeks, how the Romans was Greeks, and how they pushed and push entities that were not gods. We just went into a whole different, in a lot of deep history of how religion was created and stuff, and how people subscribe to different things to as their gods and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so the brother's real deep in knowledge, but when it came down to a situation like this, it's almost like he have a lot of knowledge and he's smart in what he's in breaking certain things down and stuff down. But when it came down to like standing in the gap and standing up and standing with me and saying, yeah, man, I understand you so and so. He didn't do that. Which I wasn't, like I said, I understand he trying to keep his bread and butter. I wasn't trying to do that. I was standing up for my brother. But sometimes, man, our people just gonna be sell out Uncle Tom's. When it come down to standing with their brother staying with the enemy, because they really realize that the enemy is paying them. So I look like, okay, now a person like that represents the 2/3 that is going to sell a soul to the devil. John 8:44, you of your father the devil. So they decided that they would serve the enemy instead of standing with his brother. You see what I'm saying? And I started to see that. So for that reason, I don't even talk to him no more. I'll speak to him and stuff like that. He was standing there. Matter of fact, he was standing up talking with the so-called white man just the other day. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I said, damn. So I just said, people, man, they would rather sell a soul to the devil to please their enemy. If I see something going on with my enemy, with the enemy, I'm gonna stand with my brother. I did it before. They had a brother, I was walking home. This was like 3 years ago. And I had all my food, my groceries. I was on my way home, I was walking home. And I saw this brother, he was into it with all them so-called polices. And I walked over there, right? Just to stand in the gap for my brother. Just to stand in the gap. Let them know that's all they do is come in our hood and they go to you know what I'm saying, trying to target us. I'm not trying, they do that. I said, yeah, that's why the so-called white man going into slavery. He repeated that from the words of me, and he told them that. I said, well, I'm glad and I actually met him, and he happened to be, he said he was Creole. His dad was Creole. I said, oh, that's what my father's people said they were. Like we was just chopping it up. We was just talking like that. And I guess that's it for the time being. I'll give y'all some more information on that. But I just come and update y'all on that part. I'm glad she did do it, because that's all the so-called white men did do is go around here. They don't know how to leave our people the hell alone and stop fucking with our people. So she stabbed them in the face. And I said, you know what? Good. Because they have, and good. Because it needs to keep happening, because we need to, they need to understand that there is repercussion when you mess with God's chosen people. You see what I'm saying? So I pray that the Most High continue to strengthen our people, strengthen us to stand up for each other. That's what I'm praying for. That's my prayer, that we stand up for each other. We're not no violent people like they are. They are violent by name. They just violent. They go around. They want blood when they do stuff. Our people, to what the Bible says, be at peace with all men. Try and do that. But when we do that, they always try to come up with something to fuck with you. They do it through these damn spam calls. Any kind of way to deceive you or use deception the so-called white men will do it. The spam through the spam callers, trying to sell you some shit, telling you got a big loan coming up, a free loan, and it's free of charge, and you ain't got to owe nothing. Man, look, the so-called white men, they come up with all kinds of bullshit. So, with that being said, I'm glad the sister did that. They just need to leave us the hell alone. You know, they just need to leave us the hell alone. And that's why that happened to him. I said, good. I'm glad it happened. That's the first thing came through my mind. Good. I'm glad she did do that. I'm glad she did stab the shit out of the devil in his face. Because he needed it. Because that's all they do is target our people. Now I'm out. I'll be back and talk on this some more.